Hi, my name is Hannah Robinson, and I am a graduate of Savvy Coders, and this is going to be my capstone project. I am a full stack web developer and a graphic designer, so let me walk you through my website real quick. So, for our capstone project, we were prompted to use agile methodologies to to get through it. So, we basically had a goal for each week and a meeting to see how far we went with each goal. And then if we fell behind, we would get help or ask for help, things like that. Using the agile processes really made it easier for me to stay on time with assignments, deadlines, and finishing this entire website, getting a at least a working model. So, my website name is Uprise Design. The goal of this website is to inspire artists and to build a community of artists. One thing that I've had trouble with quite a bit is going to be art block. So I thought of a website that could help artists get rid of art block or at least find some inspiration while you're in the middle of it. So the way that I did this was basically a couple of different things. I made a prompt of the day. I made an art tracker so you could track your progress with art and give yourself deadlines, things like that, so it could keep you on track. Then I also have discussions so you can make posts, talk to other artists about what to do, or let's say you have a problem with a drawing app or you want to create a manga but you're not sure what ideas to use, you can go to the discussions tab and just ask, like, hey, what should I do with this or what should I do with that? And just a way for artists to communicate and have a community with each other. So, um, before I started making the page, I did make a couple of wireframes. So here, ooh, here's gonna be my first wireframe. So this is what I originally imagined for my homepage. Something very simple, probably some art content that people have posted, and then a prompt of the day. And then here's my idea for my mobile view. Now, a lot of this stuff has changed because I didn't really understand how a lot of this worked, but I'll still walk you through all of my wireframes. So I have a goal page and a tracker page, but when I originally when I started doing this, I merged them together so it would just be one page. So here's what I originally imagined kind of for both of them, and what I really did was just merge them together into one. Then we have our discussions page with our reply page. Then we have contact us and oh, and then here's my wireframe like for the user flow as well. Now after that, I did go into Figma and make a more detailed rundown as I learned more HTML and CSS. So here's my Figma. So this is my home page right here. I got like an image slide, my hero header, and call to action button. Then we come over here to art tracker. Very similar to what I actually ended up doing. Then over here up to my discussions page. Then I didn't have a reply button, but basically when you click the reply button, it would send you over here to the reply page. And I just made this all really quickly using Figma just to have a mock-up of what I kind of wanted. Of course, things still changed, but very similar. So, let me walk you through my home page first. So this is my hero header and my call to action button. For Inspire, it'll just send you to the art tracker page, but we'll be going over there in a little bit anyway. So first we have our prompt of the day, which is an image slider, which was definitely a challenge to make, but I enjoyed it, especially when I finished it. What it does is it just calls on a third-party random word API and then displays it on the front end. Each time you reload the page, it'll give you a new prompt of the day. The idea of this is that people would see the prompt of the day and then make a drawing based off of it. So after that, we come down here to the what we do here section. So we have a couple different things: inspiration, goals, a lot of these things we've already gone over. But then we go over to discuss and values. So discuss, basically, just talking about our discussion posts. I just want a community where people are nice to each other and they're not tearing each other down. Of course, constructive criticism is a huge part of, making art and improving. However, you could do it in a nice way and not a mean way. Just letting people know, there are boundaries to what you should say. Then we go over here to our values. So one of our biggest values here is for sure no AI art. I don't really support AI art at all. I believe it's not really art, it's just a bunch of other artists' art smushed together in one piece. So I think in an art community, AI art should not necessarily be welcome, or AI generated images, especially for beginners, because let's say you're learning anatomy or you're learning perspective, and then you see an AI art photo that is completely inaccurate when it comes to anatomy or perspective. So what you're learning is off. So I want people to learn off of real photographs, real images, real artists, so that they can learn it right the first way. So I just want to support our real artists and not robots that say they make art. Then we'll just go over to our art tracker page. So my art tracker page was made with an API. I made the API, but I'll go over the backend kind of later because I used a similar way with the discussions page. So I'll just go over it then. So the goal here is that you would come and make a new piece that you would like to track. So we can name it about Blue Moon. Then the material, let's say pencils. Inspiration, it can be a butterfly. Then we'll just have you come down, create a deadline for yourself. So let's say a week from now, difficulty level super hard, and then just extra thoughts that you have for your piece. So there we go. Then we'll just do submit tracker. Oh, hold on. Submit tracker. Alright, so after that we'll just submit our form. Then we could just go up here and we'll just see it right there. I plan for my future state to have this turn red if it's overdue and give you an option to delete it or edit it. This page is also going to be responsive. So as you can see, we have our table right here, and you could just scroll within it. Very simple. Then we have our form, which looks pretty cute in the mobile view. Then we can go ahead. Also, my nav bar is responsive. So we'll just go ahead and go to the About Me page next. Here it is, also mobile responsive, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to my computer view. So first I have, just a brief hello message, a paragraph about what I do, why I do it, how passionate I am about art and design. I have a couple of links, one to my resume and one to, I'm still figuring it out, but I will let you know on that. Then I just have a photo of myself that lifts when you hover, my name, what I am, and then links to my GitHub, my Slack, and my LinkedIn profiles. And then I just have my art gallery down here, both traditional and digital art pieces that I've made over the years. Of course I have more, but I'm just planning to add those a little bit later. Alright. Then we'll just briefly go to our Contact Us page, which is also responsive. Just a quick form you could scroll within. So you'll just enter your first name, last name, email, phone number, and then how you heard about me, just so I know, and just a brief message that will be emailed to me. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we're just going to go over to our discussions page. So here's where you can post a discussion. First, you'll just enter your username. I don't have a profile system set up yet, but I do plan to set one up soon. So, let me just type in any random username and then a title. So, let me see. Let's just do I need help. Then I'll just pull up sentence. Alright, and we'll just submit that discussion. Oh, hold on. Alright. Now we'll just submit that discussion. Then we're going to head down here. It's going to be at the bottom. I do plan to implement something where I can basically reverse the array so it would start to displaying the newest array at the top, but I do plan to work on that later. So let me go over how this API works. So over here, we have our discussions model or schema. So what we're doing is just creating a schema where we require the username, title, and message. So each time we create a discussion, we will have these in there. Then we have our reply schema, which will be an array of this. So basically it's called a subdocument. So we just have, for the replies part of the message, we just have a sub document of the reply schema. So what we do is on our discussions page, So when we first post, we do, like on the discussion forum, we post, we const an object with all of the request data, so username, title, message, and then we call our discussions API and we post it to the backend, and then we just push it onto the backend with the response data. Then we just navigate back to the page that we're already on. Now, on the discussion page, which is technically the reply page, let me just show you what happens with that. So let's reply to the post we just made. So I really love art, but I keep procrastinating. Any advice? Let's say my real name and just keep drawing like so. So we're just gonna submit that reply, and as you can see, it just shows up at the top right there. So what's going on in the back end is when we click on that reply button, it gets the ID of whatever post that we clicked on, and it posts it in the URL. So when it comes to this page, we get a submit on the reply form, right? And we push this onto the object with that ID, and we push the object of the reply onto the reply section of that discussion. Very confusing, but it makes sense. Then we just do a put statement instead of a post. A put is just going to update that that object in our API. So we do it /discussion /batch params ID, which is just the ID in our URL. That's how we access it from the backend. Then we just do a very simple push, kind of the same thing, and then we route back to that same page with a new way of getting the ID, which is data_ID. So that's kind of how the backend works on that. It was one of the more difficult things I had to work through. All right. So that's basically it. Almost all of my pages are responsive. I forgot to show my home page. Here we still have our button and our slide and our little cards of what we do here. All right. So I'd say what I enjoyed the most while making this was the CSS and the HTML. I'm very big into design and the front end, although I do love the process of connecting the back end to the front end, which I think is very fun, honestly, and especially when you figure out and you get it working. But this was my capstone project for Savvy Coders. Thank you.